Okay, let's watch this video. Um, League of Legends is about to change forever. I guess this is about the anti-cheat. So let's see what Bandir has to say about this.
Probably heard that the new anti-cheat system, Vanguard, is coming to League of Legends. It's going to be implemented in late February or early March, so there isn't much time left. Vanguard is going to have major consequences for the game. For example, skin spotlights content is at stake, and most likely you will need to say goodbye to
To
your
the
custom skins or
custom
custom
skins.
maps.
Well,
Also,
okay.
if you played League on Linux, you can also say goodbye to it. So what is Vanguard?
Wait, what?
Vanguard is a proprietary software that was invented by Riot Games. Let me elaborate on how it works, as many find it controversial. Vanguard has been
Okay.
in use in Valorant ever since the game launched. I myself played a bunch of Valorant games and also other FPS games like CSGO. I think that the vast majority of people would agree that Vanguard has been a much better anti-cheat system than whatever anti-cheat system CSGO and later CS2 has
Oh,
been
for
using.
of
But
course.
Vanguard isn't just an average anti-cheat
Not
system.
even a
Not
question.
only does it operate while the game is active, but it also operates at the kernel level. What does it mean? Well, it operates at the core of a computer's operating system, and it pretty much has complete control over everything in the system. Kernel controls
Wait,
over
what?
hardware resources, arbitrates conflicts between processes concerning such resources, and optimizes the utilization of them. For example, CPU usage or file systems. If you want to learn more about what kernels can do, I linked a Wikipedia page in my description, but in short, they can do pretty much everything. As a result, kernel-level anti-cheat systems are much more successful than non-kernel ones. It can catch scripters and botters more reliably, it can even apply a ban during the game. If someone gets banned in your game, the game gets cancelled, so no one is punished and loses LP. Of course with the exception of the cheater. We could already witness this
Yeah,
system
that
in
makes
action
sense.
in Valorant. And because it operates at the kernel level, Riot can also reliably apply a hardware ban on your PC. If that happens, you would either need a new PC or change a bunch of your components that the ban was applied to.
Holy
Hardware ban
fuck.
could be, for example, a ban on your hard drive, motherboard, or your Windows account. For this reason, watch out when you buy a PC from someone. It might be hardware banned in League of Legends or some other game. At this moment, you might be thinking,
Okay.
oh my god, this is a crazy system, I would never allow it on my PC. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but it's extremely likely you have already allowed kernel-level anti-cheat on your PC with some other games. It is more common than you might think. More than 300 games use kernel-level anti-cheat, and these are not some niche titles, we're talking about very well-known games. Some of the examples of games using kernel-level software are Apex Legends, Assassin's Creed games, pretty much all Battlefield games, Call of
Holy
Duty
fuck.
games, Destiny 2, Elden Ring, Fear, Far Cry games, H1Z1, Genshin Impact, Fortnite, Lost Ark, Overwatch 2, PUBG, Rust, Tom Clancy games, War Thunder, or Warhammer games. Even Fall Guys and even Need for Speed Pro Street and Undercover
What?
are using kernel-level anti-cheat.
Oh,
You can check
wow.
out the full list of games using kernel-level software by checking out the link in the description. But here comes the question. Does Vanguard work similarly to the other kernel-level anti-cheat that other games use? And here we reach the biggest problem that people have with Vanguard. Yes, it works differently than other kernel anti-cheats.
Oh,
You
okay.
have to know that
Why?
Vanguard launches when you boot your PC. Vanguard runs on your PC all the time. And this is what people don't really like. Vast majority
Ah.
of kernel anti-cheats only run when you launch the game. So can you even close Vanguard? Well, kind of. You can close the software, but if you want to play League again, you will need to reboot your PC. There's
Okay.
no other way
Yeah.
to open
I've done that before with Valorant. Yeah.
Vanguard if you closed it. You need to restart your PC. But is there a valid reason to have anti-cheat running 24/7? Well, there is. This makes it even more difficult for people to do any cheating since their PCs are constantly monitored. This is why Faceit or ESEA anti-cheats in Counter-Strike also run all the time. To those of you that are unaware what Faceit or ESEA are, these are pretty much an
The best places to play Counter Strike. Literally.
external replacement for normal matchmaking that you have in Counter-Strike.
Yep.
Counter-Strike doesn't have kernel level anti-cheat by itself, So very high ranked pro players in Counter-Strike almost exclusively play Faceit or ESEA. And these days, kernel levels anti-cheat is pretty much the default way to go for FPS games. But of course, such intrusive anti-cheats come at a risk. ESEA in 2013 had a major controversy, as it was found out they were actually mining Bitcoin with people's PCs. That being said,
What?
Vanguard hasn't been involved in such controversy yet, and Riot is
Yet.
a much
Hmm.
bigger entity than ESEA, so there would be much more to lose for Riot. But what about different operating systems? Windows players will of course need Vanguard to play League. There's no other way. Vanguard won't support certain versions of Windows 10, but such versions are no longer supported by Microsoft themselves. Most likely this shouldn't be a concern to you, unless you are running some old cracked Windows 10 version. What about Mac? Well, if you play League on Mac, you don't need to worry. Macs won't require Vanguard to play League of Legends, as Riot finds them secure enough. But if you play League on Linux, I'm sorry to say, but you have about 2 more months of being able to play the game. Some of you
Okay.
may also ask the question, does League of Legends really need such a system as Vanguard? For a game like Valorant, it's pretty obvious why strong anti-cheat is a necessity. Cheating in FPS games is extremely prevalent, a great example being previously mentioned CSGO or CS2. Back to the question of cheating in a game like
Can't wait for them to add for Valve to add a decent uh, a decent anti-cheat to this game. I wanna play CS again.
League of Legends. Is it a big problem?
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, it seems that scripting and botting has been on the rise, especially since Riot Games was hacked at the beginning of 2023. They themselves admitted that this resulted in more cheaters in League of Legends and are aware that this is a significant issue for the game. Furthermore, in a game like League, there are plenty of ways to cheat without making it very obvious, unlike in FPS games. So from the perspective of game quality and competitive integrity, it seems like the right way to go. What's also worth knowing, Vanguard isn't really completely problem-free. For some people, it can significantly impact the performance of their PCs. But for that, we'll need to see how it goes. I even experienced problems with Vanguard myself. I vividly remember when a few years ago I downloaded and installed Valorant and the game didn't work for me. At the time, it was necessary for me to go to BIOS settings and change some settings there to be able to even run the game. It took quite a bit of figuring out. Plenty of people reported such problems. As far as I know, this has only been a thing on Windows 11. But is it gonna be the same for League? I really don't know. If it's gonna require some people to change BIOS settings to even play League, I can definitely see a decline in player base. It's neither very intuitive or easy to do for an average
I
person.
mean,
So
I hope it doesn't break the game. Like people are always talking how it's gonna break it, but how the client already is fucked up, and this is gonna be even worse. I hope not. I hope this is gonna be good for the game, and it's gonna help. Um, and we're gonna stop getting bots and scripters on our games.
let's just hope we won't need to go that way. What about Vanguard impacting the League of Legends community? As I already mentioned, being able to play with
Oh, the
custom skins
custom
or
skins,
custom
right?
maps is almost certain not to be possible anymore. This is obviously a hit to some of the content creators, like Drutud or Sloppy Walrus, who use these very often. If you don't think it's bad, Sloppy Walrus is already finishing his application for McDonald's employment. Vanguard will also heavily impact the biggest League of Legends content creator, Skin Spotlights. Such kernel level anti-cheat directly interferes with Skin Spotlight's tools, and it will impact things like his Katarina dummy, his S-mark on the ground, fast video recording, camera positioning, chromas, interactions, and so on. As he says, quote, I don't think it will, but there is a chance Vanguard might be the push for me to move on. Of course, like with any other kernel level software, there is a concern of data privacy with Vanguard. Riot in their 2024 preview video promised that they don't care what you do on your PC, they don't collect personal information, they only collect the data they absolutely need for League of Legends, and yada yada yada. It is completely normal that this is
That's gotta be
concerning to
cap.
people,
I don't
but it's
believe that.
worth remembering that multiple games already use kernel level software. That being said, Vanguard, unlike the other anti-cheats, runs 24/7, so this can be a pain point for some people. What may also concern some people is that Vanguard is an anti cheat made by Riot, and Riot is fully owned by Tencent, which is a Chinese company. But whether that should be a concern, it's entirely up to you. And at the end of the day, it's
I don't,
entirely up to you to decide
the fuck do I
if you
know
are
about
fine
that?
with Vanguard or not. Hope you learned a little bit about League's new anti cheat. Feel free to share your own experiences with Vanguard. Thanks for watching. Cheers.
Okay. Yeah, I really don't care about the anti cheat. What is gonna do to my PC in terms of like being open 24/7. So yeah, I really hope it doesn't bug or uh, I hope that I don't have problems with my computer when with my PC with this game. I hope it's gonna run smoothly. So yeah, I can't wait. Is we're one day away from season 2024. 1 or 2 months, we're getting the anti cheat. So hey, we still have to wait a little bit longer.